In this video, I'm going to show you how to make one of these vocabulary tab books that you can use for any area of science. So I've got one here for parts of the ear and for parts of the eye, but you can use them for any topic you want to. And each one has a selection of words or vocabulary on the front, which students can lift to reveal the definition of the word underneath. So I'm going to show you how to make these using Canva so that you can make them for your own classroom. We're going to start with a blank document in Canva, and it's going to be landscape. The size of the document is going to be dependent on what size you're printing. So for me, this is a landscape A4. If you're in the US, you would choose a US letter size landscape. And the first thing I'm going to do is to use the R shortcut on my keyboard to bring up a rectangle. And then I'm going to resize this rectangle so that it is about half the size of the page, just under. Once I've got the rectangle, I'm going to make it transparent, and then I'm just going to add a black outline. Then next, copy that, click paste, and then you've got your identical rectangle, but we're actually going to make this a bit smaller by dragging from the bottom. And then I'm going to just start copying and pasting these shorter rectangles down the right hand side. And the number of rectangles that you'll paste will depend on how many words you're going to be covering on your tab book. So I'm going to do 5 boxes for 5 words. They actually need to be the same size as this one on the left. So now I've got my 5 boxes, I'm just going to make sure that both halves are the same size. Once you've done that, you'll go back to your first rectangle, copy it, paste it, and then just drag the right hand side across to make a thin strip on the left side of that rectangle. Then copy that rectangle, paste it, and just bring it onto the left hand side of the bottom part of your template. But with this one, we're just going to want to make it white to cover up those lines underneath. So our template is starting to take shape. The next thing that we need to do is just add some lines for students to cut. So again, using the shortcut L on my keyboard, I'm going to bring up a straight line and then just line it up with this line here, this first line, which needs to be slightly longer. And I'm going to make that a dash line to show that it's a line for cutting. I'm just going to make it slightly thinner, and also, just personal preference, I'm going to make it grey. Then I'm going to copy and paste those lines so that I've got one level with each line on this bottom part of the template. Luckily, Canva shows you when it's level by bringing up that little purple line there. Next thing is to add some text onto the template. So I'm going to use the T shortcut to bring up a text box. And the first thing I'm going to do is give it a title down the side. So this one is going to be for parts of a plant. And I'm just going to make that a bit bigger and probably change the font to something a bit bolder. And just rotate it, pop it down the side here, maybe a little bit bigger. Then we're going to need our 5 words for the top part of the tab book. So again, we'll just use T for text box, bring that up, and then I'm going to write some parts of a flower, or parts of a plant even, in here. So I've got
seeds. Let's do roots. Leaf. I'm going to make all these singular. Seed, root, leaf. Flower. And stem. So this is now ready to download and print. And once it's printed, students can write their definitions of each of the words in these blank boxes. Obviously, if your students need lines to do that, you can add some writing lines into the blank boxes if you wish to. And then once they've written their definitions, they'll cut out both of these parts. They'll then cut along the dashed lines. They will glue onto this thin strip here on the right hand side of the bottom template, and then they'll be able to place this top section on top of the bottom section so that it's stuck down one side, and these tabs which have been cut along the lines will be free to be lifted, showing the definitions underneath. If you don't want students to write, if you want them to cut and paste, then you'll just need to make some boxes with your definitions in. So how I would do that would be to get a rectangle and make it the similar size to the writing box. Then I would give it a dashed outline. And then I would put my definitions on another page. So you'd copy and paste 5 of these boxes, and then you'd write your definitions inside, print them out on a separate piece of paper, and then students can cut out the definitions and add them into the boxes.